everyone, welcome back to GFA Attract. We're back again with Collins, and we will just talk a little bit about or more about KYANDA.
KYANDA is a Kenyan fintech startup. What we do, we are a 360-degree payment solution cutting across utility bill payments, payment collections, payment disbursements. So we do offer services through various channels. We do have an individual mobile platform, an agency network, and an API gateway as well. So this means that a normal user can just download our platform from the Google Play Store, and they're able to access utility bill payments, discounted services, that is. They're able to access very cheap money transfer services, and they're also able to deposit or even withdraw funds from any KYANDA outlet, which is now the second way in which we serve our customers. So our second way is now the agency network. We do have a widespread network of agents across Kenya, where we are focusing on tapping or even rather approaching the untapped areas of Kenya and to serve the unbanked people, who are the most of the people here in Kenya. So these people are able to access our services through the nearest agent within their area. So for the agent, what we've done, we've gotten into a partnership with a Chinese Android-held manufacturer and also EcoBank. So we are giving them an Android-held PDQ device where they are able to vend around utility services. They are able to collect payments. They're able to process the withdrawal and deposits from the customer. So other than that, they are also able to perform for established businesses. They're able to perform card payments using the PDQs as well. So we do have two types of PDQ, one which supports card and another one which doesn't support. So the third way is now the API gateway. The API gateway is where pre-existing businesses, large enterprises, organization, entities, schools, other fintechs as well are able to integrate directly to our system, and they can vend utility services. They can collect or even disburse payments to their suppliers, to their employees as well. And actually, for the first time, KYANDA happens to be the first open API that supports bank payout real-time to all 42 banks in Kenya. So that's one of the most unique services that we have. So far, so good. We do have a competitor in that space, but it's only limited to bank-to-bank transfer only. Yeah, so typically that's what KYANDA does. Awesome. So we have two things here. So the first thing is the fact that we are a 360-degree payment solution. So meaning that you access all these services in one platform. You don't need to have like a utility payments app, a banking payment app. You have all these services in one platform. So that's the first unique advantage that we have against other competitors who are there in the market. Then the second thing is from this housing these 360-degree solutions in one platform, then definitely you make it's now cheaper to access this service. So the cost that you would incur while accessing, let's say, utility service in one app, access payment solution on another app is now merged into two, and it's now cheaper. That's what I'm trying to say. So we are cheaper and typically very, very cheap here in Kenya. Yeah, thank you. So we've gotten into partnerships with various telcos, various utility firms, nearly all 42 banks. In fact, nearly all 42 banks in Kenya. So the reason why we went for these partnerships is we have a very big market in Kenya actually utilizing their services. So, but they usually have that hard tendency to access this service because it's very expensive accessing directly to the telco. So we have negotiated, various transaction charges, various discounts on behalf of the customer. So we have negotiated this with the telcos to make it very easily accessible and even cheaper for the customer, for the end user customer. So that's what we've done on behalf of the client. Yeah. We are based in Nairobi, Kenya. Okay, so I think we in Kenya around 56% of the population, that's around 32 to 35 million people, actually perform 70% of their normal transactions through cash to cash based solution. Why? Because they don't want to incur these high transaction costs that they would incur when transaction on using any online payment gateway. So this has given KYANDA a unique selling point because we are housing all these services in one platform, so making it even cheap. And since COVID, when COVID was here, everyone was forced actually to move to cashless systems by most of the regulators in Kenya. So people really wanted to utilize that platform that would save them that extra coin. And that's, in fact, that's how KYANDA typically grew, because we had saved people the high transaction costs that they were incurring normally when transacting directly using the telcos. So for us, there's a very big market, and the market is still broad. It's quite broad for us, and we are still exploring even more deeply and widely. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Nicole. I think the first time I introduced myself to a pitch panel, most of them actually thought I was a joker because I was still a young, a very slender guy. So most of them didn't actually realize that it's something that would grow later on. So they thought it was more of just a storytelling and that's it. So people really underestimated me. Others did motivate me, others did discourage me, because most of them were saying like focus on studies, just focus on studies, leave what you're doing. So it was a very hectic moment until the time now it grew and people understood later on what I was doing. Okay, thanks to awesome mentors, awesome support systems, my family. Of course, my dad was actually my greatest motivation. He was actually the greatest pillar on KYANDA's growth, because he kept motivating me, taking me through various I think most of the times were like hooked stories so that I don't give up. So he used to tell me like, there's this guy, you wanted to give up on his business venture, then at the end of the day it blew up, it spiked up in the market. So such stories, such motivation, such counseling from the support system, the surrounding people, mentors, uncles, external mentors, even not only family. I have external mentors around who greatly supported me and showed me the way. So I believe, and they do so up to date. So that's one thing that has held me till date. Okay, so on a positive note, most of them actually saw the vision, and including the team. The first time I actually pitched to a couple of friends to just get support team so that we can build this product together. So when I pitched this to them, they saw the vision in it. They saw what I was trying to build. They saw the vision comparing the market, which is now there, and they jumped in and said, well, what can we do now? What can we chip in to do? What can we bring on board? So I think the first impression for most of the people was they saw the positive side of what I was trying to build. Okay, so after the different pitches, after you've done several pitches, at the end of the day, there are questions. There are some things, there are loopholes that you've not maybe covered during the pitch. So for me, I think I've grown a lot from such questions, from such loopholes, because this is someone who can see it externally, so they can see where you are headed wrong, where you are headed right. So I think we've grown a lot from such pitches. Yeah. Okay, so that one brings me to the biggest challenge that we've overcome, not really overcome, but the biggest challenge that we have is KYANDA. So the first thing is the regulatory change here in Kenya. It's not quite easy to set up a payment solution for the Kenyan space. most of the regulators, they do require you to have like a lump sum of capital, almost 200k USD, just as capital. And looking at a young 19-year-old boy trying to build a service that requires all this was quite a challenge. So we accessed different people who assisted us on the way, including our strategic partners. And they came through for us. They saw the vision as well as stated. People understood the vision and they held our hands, and we are now working together. So we are in the process of now acquiring these specific, let's say, licenses with assistance from pre-existing organizations that have been there before. So it's quite a challenge for on the legal side. So that's our number one thing. Number one thing is to ensure that your data, your information, or anything that is shared to KYANDA is handled with the utmost confidentiality. So for us, and even as per most of the regulators in Kenya, it's a data policy. You must secure this data through, you can't just store this data in like a straightforward way. You must encrypt it, ensure that it's well stored. So we have secured this for our clients because it's the most important thing I think you should have as a company, the securing the client's data. So that's what we are even growing to ensure that people's data is well stored and well taken care of. The utmost confidentiality. Awesome. So we do it through a very simple way. We have various verification ways in how you access and how you transact through our platform. So we have OTP. We have there's a technique that we use in Kenya. It's called SDK push, where you have to verify through your mobile provider. It can be Airtel Money, it can be M-Pesa, it can be Equitel. So we have various ways in which we verify the number one, your KYC details. Before you onboard our platform, then your KYC details are already uploaded. We verify these KYC details. We do various checks. We confirm with various telcos before now granting you access to our account. So for the fraudsters who try using our platform to, maybe would I say scam or do something, we do have, before you on board, we've given you like a few instructions on how you handle such. We've given you our numbers. We've given you like our golden customer care numbers, which are golden. That is a number that is very easy to remember. So other than that, it's quite hard for them to scam you, because we've done the very much things to ensure that you understand how to handle such people. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So it happens. It does happen. So we have different procedures internally on how we follow up and ensure that this payment is number one reversed. So thanks to the quick response and thanks to the direct linkage that we have with these telcos, because for example, if you send money from your KYANDA wallet to, let's say, an M-Pesa, a wrong M-Pesa or even wrong Airtel Money account, so we reach out to the telco immediately and kickstart the reversal process. If the funds are utilized, then the telco has a special way in how they handle such cases, and it will ensure that at the end of the day, you'll have your funds back. Yeah. Okay. So let me take you back. When I started KYANDA, it was now an airtime vending platform. So I started with around 150 USD. That's what I used to register the entity and like have a certain amount going for the float balances and everything. So since then, up to date, we've been bootstrapping. We've never raised funds externally. So from the 150 USD, KYANDA has grown majorly from that amount. Yeah. Awesome. So our first thing is to firmly strategize the Kenyan entity. We have plans, in fact, to expand regionally and even expand to different countries in Africa. So the first thing I think we should, once we get our funding, is strategize how the Kenyan entity would family be strong, because it's now the mother country and it's the mother company. So of course, acquire the specified licenses, acquire enough PDQs for merchants, for agents, acquire enough, strategize or even enhance the KYANDA's payments API engine, just to make sure that everything is on a firm ground. And of course, market deeply, especially in Kenya, market deeply, and even go physically. We are that company. We are not that company that we're just seated somewhere in an office and just assume that people will download your platform, people will just approach you. No, we are that company. We believe in approaching people directly and selling our idea directly to them. So definitely with that, you will also need people on site. You'll also need people on ground to assist you to sell this to, to the most remote areas in Kenya. So in case we land funding, that would be the first thing that we would first measure on before proceeding now to expand to our potential countries. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So I think my first 50 customers were more of close friends and family. So from there, we grew, I think, from the network of the 50 people that we had served. People like, can you try this app? Could you try this? Could you try this? I think that's where we grew from. But as the numbers arose, definitely we had to push social media adverts, push video adverts, poster adverts across the social media space, so that we can acquire most of these people, because at that time most of the people were using phones, because it was during COVID time. So for us, I think we've really invested a lot on acquiring these customers, and I don't know if I can give the exact figure, but we've really invested most of the funds and most of the revenue. We usually have an allocation going to the social media adverts, because that's what has made us grow to this point. Okay, so the first thing, it was quite a challenge to spot the best talent that you'd like to work with. So I think the first criteria that I used is to have like a technical guy, and to also have someone whose focus is on, let's say, perhaps the financial side, a person who would handle most of the paperwork. So that was my first criteria that I had in mind. Just acquire a technical guy and someone who would assist you with the paperwork, because you can't do paperwork and at the same time you're doing the code. No, it wouldn't work properly. So that was my first criteria that I had. Awesome. So other than the services that we are offering, so far so good, on our platform, we are in plans to bring more platforms, or even rather more services on our platform. So we are in the plan of bringing on SMSs, voice services, insurance services, and such that all this is only accessed, including insurance. It's accessed through an API-based thing. So it's kind of what we have in pipeline, because we believe most of these services in Kenya have not yet gotten into a level where they are accessed like directly through APIs, especially for insurance. You have to go to an insurance firm, you have to, do paperwork, do tedious works. So we want to see if including more services would, grow KYANDA and grow KYANDA's business model as well. Because at the end of the day, each payment or even each transaction which goes through the platform, then it's KYANDA, it's a plus on KYANDA's end. Yeah. Definitely, yes. Actually, most of them are actually KYANDA ambassadors. So they are like, wherever they go, wherever they are, they just keep on talking about KYANDA. Yeah. This, but we're in the process. Actually, we're almost in the final stages of acquiring our entity in Tanzania, so that we're able to roll out KYANDA in Tanzania. And after that, we'll proceed to South Africa, thanks to the Kenya South Africa Chamber of Business. They've given us an access to, it's more of a leeway on how we can register and have our presence there, so that we're able even to perform cross-border payments, etc. So those are some of the scale-up plans that we have for KYANDA, and definitely in our drive to be the biggest payment ecosystem in Africa. I believe after you've done all this, and when we've, let's say, exploded much in the market, then it will be easy for us to penetrate, because people would market internally, or I would tell my friend, the friend would tell another friend. So other than having physical people, then we'll go reducing this number and have this number focused on on the product development, or even something that would enhance the services there. Okay, so far so good. As mentioned, our biggest challenge has been the regulatory change in Kenya. Today you are compliant, then tomorrow you wake up, everything is not on the right side. So we do have a lot of changes that are happening in the different firms that actually regulate us. So I think that's the number one challenge that we face, is actually not really fintech, but most of the startups and most of the businesses in Kenya. We do have so many changes on the regulatory side, which makes it very, very difficult for us to penetrate through. So we have to go through, difficult challenges, difficult procedures before we complete this process. Then I think then the second thing I would say we have a challenge is could I say penetrating the ever broad market, because we have people like M-Pesa, we do have Airtel Money, and these people are trying to build new products, that are going to be sustainable in the market. So I think penetrating in a space where we have could I say large farms, it's quite a challenge. But once we have the market that we are focusing on, then and we have the best way to lure this market to use our platform, then I think we are on the safe side. Yeah. Number one, these fintechs are already established, and if they have these big numbers, they're not able to lower their standards so that they can fit to where we are. So us as KYANDA, we are on a low level in terms of we have low charges, we have low transaction charges that are incurred compared to these big fintechs. So for a huge fintech to just reduce their numbers like drastically down so that they are able to be on the same plateau level with KYANDA, it would be quite difficult for them, and they would typically even fail or even collapse. But for us, we are slowly approaching this market in a low way by giving you low transaction charges, giving you all these services in one platform, making it cheaper for you on our step to grow to get where the bigger fintechs are.
Do you have?
I think what I would tell my fellow peers, especially young people of this, young people, is that if you have something at this young age, I think it would be the best time to focus on it, because you have all the time to learn the risks, to take these risks, to learn from these risks. Don't just wait to start your business when you're almost 40, because what time will you take your risk? What time will you learn from these risks? Because businesses have risks, they have challenges all through. So it's just a common thing. It's more of a procedure, the same way a baby has to be held carefully. So it's just the same thing. For a business, it's more of a procedure that you have to go through. So for young people outside there listening to me today, just go for it. If you have something that you can do that will differentiate you from your other peers, that will make you unique from your other peers, go for it. Start it and start small. Yeah.
So we have come to the end of our interview. Thank you so much, Collins, for telling us about KYANDA, and thank you so much to our viewers for clicking on the video and watching the video as well and getting to know what we're talking about. For now, thank you and goodbye.